Aloha and welcome to Lucy's Paradise podcast. Today is a little bit different, and I did not think that I would be making or ever be making a podcast about Charlie Kirk. So today it's really interesting and tragic, but Charlie Kirk has been assassinated today, and it's a very unfortunate act of violence that had occurred. Um, it's clear that it's politically driven or politically inspired, whatever you want to say about that. Basically, Charlie was being silenced. That's what this is, right? Um, and it's very worrisome. I think it's very worrisome. It's tragic. I talk about this. I'm not even really trying to dive or delve into political issues necessarily. I did have, I have a bunch of different podcasts that I like to watch. And the reason that Charlie Kirk was one of my favorite podcasters. Anyway, I liked him debating, being able to allow some of my favorite podcasts are the ones that involve debates. So you'll see a round table. There'll be one person that maybe has one viewpoint, and another person that has other viewpoints. This upsets me because, I'm a huge advocate for free speech, and I watch all kinds of videos and stuff, even stuff that aligns with me and doesn't align with me that may or may not trigger me. And I like to watch them to gain different perspective, to maybe expand my knowledge base. I love different types of researching. I love different types of investigative shows and investigations and things like that as well. So yeah, I really didn't think making this video would even make me emotional because I've had like all day to think about this. And obviously, you guys know I'm a big advocate for guns, being in the military, being somebody that knows how to defend themselves, being somebody that loves for me, being able to release some tension, at the range when I was in the military was always kind of the highlight for me in my military career. I did 6 years. I feel connected to him a little bit because, Charlie inspired me a lot to be able to express my different ideals and my ideas. And being somebody who I believe in God, but I've also been in the LGBTQ community for a long time, I felt that I had a very unique perspective. And I like debates, and I always will like debates. And I wonder what the impact of the road is going to be. I always encourage people to speak. Even if we don't align on issues, I think it's important for you to voice and for us to speak and for us to be able to have these debates. That's healthy. Being able to have these healthy debates that don't involve violence, where we can hear each other's sides. And it just sucks because it shows such a division in the world, and violence just in general is, awful. clearly. No one wants to go outside of their house and get shot, or go outside their house and get beat up. And there's always something at the root of these things, but I'm realizing now how much more of a connection I had with this podcaster, because it was part of my daily routine. I have a plethora of different podcasts that I listen to. Some of them are just popular, not really political at all. Some of them are very, very super stuff I'm not into, where they talk about OnlyFans and things like that. But I still listen to those things because I want to know and I want to understand. And that's the thing that I try really hard to do in my podcasting and my researching, is I try to understand different perspectives. I try to understand the psychology of why people do what they do and things like that. And I am very interested to see what was the motivations behind this attack and assassination. It is really sad to know and hear that not only is just somebody who made content that I was a fan of, but this person, is a wife at the end of has a wife at the end of the day and has children at the end of the day. And that is just, I think, heartbreaking to think about for anyone. And it was funny, is I wanted to do a Hawaii update recently, but I've been sick. You guys don't know this about me, but I have been very sick the last month, on and off. So I was sick for a little while, then I got better, then I was sick again. And I've had a lot of stuff going on. So, as my videos come out, I want to do things that are more relevant and more today. And there's been a lot of shootings here in Hawaii, and they truly impact me. These things really do have an impact on me, especially when they happen in my community. And one thing I am happy that Hawaii is doing is they are flying the flags at half mast. I don't know how long they're doing that, but apparently that's what they're doing here in Hawaii. So that is interesting to know. It's never good to hear about an American getting hurt or getting killed. And I literally thought it was like a joke when I heard that he got shot today. And then maybe an hour later or something later, I found out that he actually died. And I was like, what is going on? And, I think these rallies that he was having at college campuses were extremely important. And I liked his point that, college students are the young adults that are going to be voting and things like that. I know a lot of people are not, they're not convinced about the voting process and all that stuff. And we feel like America is just going downhill, and I get it. I get all of that. But I really liked what he was doing in terms of allowing those debates. And, I don't align with everything, and I don't like certain conversations and things like that, but I'm just sad in general about it all. So, I have other podcasters that I listen to and watch, and there's a few of my favorites that, are here based in Hawaii that I'm thankful that I can discuss things with them that are less serious than politics, which is nice, like relationships. Or I just had Scotty G on, where we talked about health and mental health and coaching and things like that. And one of my biggest things that I love to talk about is Hawaii. And Hawaii being my home, being the place that I was born and raised. I am concerned with the amount of violence and gun violence, not just gun violence, but just violence in general that has been occurring, right now. I believe Hawaii is the heart chakra of the earth, and we need to protect it at all costs. And that starts with protecting the land. So I'm just going to leave you guys with a few things. I will make another Hawaii update soon. It hasn't happened yet, but it will happen soon. I'm sorry I got emotional on this podcast. I really didn't expect that, to be honest. But I just want to say, if you love Hawaii, if you come here and you love Hawaii, you love vacationing here, and you have that spiritual connection to Hawaii, I just remind you to have aloha and kindness in your heart. I remind you to leave the land better than you left it. Clean up, clean up after yourself, don't litter, things like that. It seems so silly, but I went to California and people just litter. They just throw things out the window. And it's such a different mindset to me. And they act like we don't live here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could, like, yes, I get it. I'm in California. I'm not in Hawaii, but I still don't want to litter. Why are we throwing the trash out the window? Just leave it. Like, we still live here. Take pride. I'm glad I live here. I hope that we can uphold those different things and the culture here in Hawaii and continue to do that. And I know, a ton of people don't align politically with the person who got shot and stuff. But I have seen some horrible things online and things like that. Everybody has, you have a right to your opinion. That's the point, right? That's why we are free. We are a free country because you can tell me your opinion. You can comment on my video and tell me I'm a freaking crybaby and get over it. Big fucking deal. You could totally do that. And you know what? You are allowed to do that. You can do that. I might not like it. I might troll you back. You know what I mean? But ultimately, when you guys watch my content, I hope that you continue to free think. Please continue to free think. Please continue to do your own research. Please continue to find your own facts for things before you make opinions. If you do have an opinion, a really strong opinion about something, that's okay. You know what I mean? I'm going to assume you did your research. I personally love debates. Maybe this is an inspiration for me to do more debate-like stuff on my channel. I don't know. But I'm just saddened, because I'm like, dang, I'm not going to ever see this guy's content except for what's already out there. And I think that's something to remember. The message that has already been out there, I think, is very important. One thing I did really like is his push for Christianity. And I know a lot of people are also anti-Bible, and I get that. But, I think ultimately the point is to be a good person. That's ultimately why people are drawn to religion, I think. And I try to be a good Christian. I'm probably not the best Christian, right? Because I'm gay, so I'm like horrible Christian, people can say. But I try to be good. I try to be good. Try to be honest. Try to be loving. I don't beat my dog. What else? All of those things. I mean, I go to church very regularly. I have gone. I don't go regularly, but I do go. And I would just like to pray for everybody. So I would like to pray for everybody's safety, because I don't want anyone to get shot. I don't want anyone to get shot. Can we all just get along no matter what our opinions are? I don't know. I'm asking these questions. Thank you guys so much for tolerating this video. I don't really want to steer my content towards a lot of too many political things. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of my perspective. If there are any podcasts you think I should listen to that I should maybe add to my wheelhouse, I'd love any recommendations, suggestions. If you have anything to share as well, please do so in the comments. Please stay kind in my comments, and I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching This Is Paradise podcast, the saddest episode you probably ever watch. I'm going to be having Gordon on, my really good friend Gordon. He's a DJ from the Bay Area. He was taught DJing by, he has his mentors, I have mine, and we've had a lot of chats recently. A good friend of mine for a really long time. And you guys are going to see him on real soon. So yeah, please stay tuned to that. Thank you guys so much for the patience in terms of my content. I have been sick, so my content's obviously I've still been posting every Friday, but I'm going to do a little bit more of solo episodes now that I'm feeling better, now that I'm able to get with people face to face and have episodes with people. You will see more of that as well. So I greatly appreciate all your guys' love and support on my podcasts, no matter which podcast they are. Even if you don't like some of the stuff I talk about, I greatly appreciate your response and letting me know and things like that. you know, but regardless, I hope I'm just keeping my content as true as I can to me. And I felt like this was something that was important to discuss. And yeah, God bless everybody. And thank you so much for watching Lucy's Paradise Podcast. Aloha.